Welcome to Bruce Tracy Photography. My new toy has just arrived. It is the 45mm f1.2 lens. Now, I'm a school teacher. I was at work today when I noticed in my email box that the lens had arrived. So this is my lunch break. I've run home, I've unboxed it. I'm going to take it back to work with me to test it out. But I'm going to give you an honest opinion of what I think of this lens and if I think this lens might be right for you. I'm not paid by anybody. I'm not even paid by YouTube at this point. So I'm going to give you my honest impressions of this lens. First thing I can tell you is it feels a little bit cheap. It's not terribly cheap. It feels a little more sturdy than, say, the 50mm 1.8, the nifty 50. But you're definitely not getting the quality here that you would for an L lens. But let's be honest. The 50mm 1.2 L lens, that thing costs almost $3,000. I paid $470 for this. So I don't expect this to be the quality of, say, an L lens. That would be stupid. We're paying a fraction of the price, but we're getting 1.2, and that is super exciting, especially for those of us who aren't making a living with our photography. If you're a wedding photographer or you do product photography, then go ahead and spend $3,000 on the 50mm 1.2. You're going to get your money's worth out of it. For people like me, there is no way. That's a unicorn lens. We don't really have a lot of uses for it. But at $470, I'll find uses for this. It's going to blur the background. It's going to allow me to shoot indoors when it's darker situations. At f1.2, we're going to let in a ton of light with this lens. That's what I'm hoping. I do a lot of sports photography. Some of it's indoors, basketball games, volleyball games. This should be pretty good for that, especially if you get a press pass and you can get down close to the action. 45mm is not a lot of reach, but at 1.2, I am now opening it up to get so much extra light that I don't have to worry about the high ISOs. I'm going to be able to reduce a lot of that noise by keeping my ISOs low. That's what I plan to use this lens for. Also, I'm going to take it out and do probably portraits that are outdoors where I can get the subject pretty close to where I'm standing and obliterate the background. That's what 1.2 is going to do for you. It's going to let you shoot in dark environments, and it's also going to let you blow out backgrounds when you're shooting products or people. When you have the background far enough back, you're going to be able to totally obliterate it with this lens. I'm super excited to try it. I'm going to take it back to school right now. I'm going to set up some items on my table, see what we can do with blowing out the backgrounds, see what it does with the low light situations. I'll give you my final impression about it after I've taken some photos and shared those with you, and then I'll tell you if I think this lens is right for you. So stick around. We're heading back to school. Well, a new lens just arrived at my house. I'm at work. So I ran home during my lunch break, grabbed the lens, and I brought it back with me. I'm a junior high school English teacher. So I ran home to my house, grabbed the lens, because, you know, when you get new camera gear, you want to test it out. So I brought it with me here to school. I'm going to test it here on flowers around campus, some of the items I have right here in the room itself. What I'm testing for, of course, is to see what it looks like shooting at 1.2. What kind of a low light situation can I handle with low ISO? I also want to try to blow out the backgrounds because that's what you buy the 1.2 for. So that's what we're doing today. I am here in my junior high school classroom. In fact, let's take a look real quick. This is what a junior high school classroom looks like for those of you who haven't been in junior high in 100,000 years. I've been here every day for 32 years. Over here on this wall, you'll see some of my astrophotography. Those are pictures of deep space that I take, and then I blow them up and throw them on my classroom walls. I'm an English teacher, but hey, astronomy, you can teach that in any subject. The kids love them. It opens up a lot of dialogue about photography, so it's always cool to bring in your work and show it here. I also post a weekly photo on our Google Classroom, so the kids can see a new photo every week that I'm taking. I'm trying to inspire them to love photography like I love photography, even though I'm an English teacher. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to be doing today. And there he is. My very expensive model that we hired. His name is Bob, and we are going to take pictures of him sitting here on the table. And my goal, of course, will be to blow out the background over there. Also, I want to see what it looks like shooting at 1.2 indoors, because I won't have to crank up my ISO to make it happen. So there he is. The goal is we're going to see what we can do. In fact, you know what? Let's take you into the back of my camera right now. I'm going to show you what he's going to look like in video at 1.2, say, versus f8. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. You can hear the students next door making all kinds of noise. But there's Bob sitting on my table. You can see how even in video, we have just blown out that background. Looks pretty cool. What I'm going to try to do here is see if I can close down my aperture to show you what that looks like. So here's at 1.4, 1.6, 1.8. Let's take it all the way up to 8. There he is at 8. You can see the background coming in. At 11, now you can really see the background. Take it all the way up to 16. That's as high as it goes on this lens. And you can see that the background's, you know, it's just there. But taking it down to 1.2, watch how we can blow that thing out. And here we are now at 1.2. What I'm going to try to do is take a few photographs. I'll show you what this looks like at 1.2. I love the fact that I can blow out the back like that. Even better, I like being able to shoot in low light situations like this. So let's go ahead and take a look at the photo I came up with. All right, that looked pretty cool. Bob is prominent in the foreground with the background blown out. I'm going to take you outside now. We're going to walk around campus. I'm going to look for some flowers just to focus in on them and see if I can obliterate the background outside as well. So come with me. We're heading outside. Well, I've had this lens now for about 3 hours, and I can already tell you what I think about the lens. It's incredible. I was blowing out backgrounds that I've never been able to blow out before. The light gathering capabilities at 1.2, I've never shot at 1.2, so it blew me away. Outside, it's almost too much. I was shooting at 6,000th of a second for some of these photos, just to not let too much light into the camera. Indoors, it was great because I was shooting at 100 ISO, and I was still shooting up at 1/200th of a second, 1/300th of a second. So yeah, this is going to open up all kinds of new possibilities for me having that kind of an aperture. The question is, who's this lens for? Well, the answer is if you have a 50mm 1.2L lens, don't bother with this thing. It's not for you. If you're anybody else, get this lens. You all have the nifty 50s. That's kind of one of the first lenses we all buy. I think this is going to replace that. Why buy the nifty 50 when you can get this at 1.2 as opposed to that at a 1.8? Yeah, it costs a little bit more, but it's still in a price range that most of us can afford. And if you can't save up a little bit before you get the nifty 50, I highly recommend instead of that, you go with this at 45mm 1.2. It gives you a little wider field as well, which is kind of nice. Doesn't make a huge difference, but the aperture sure does. So my honest review to you is this is a fun lens. I've only had it for a few hours. I'll give you probably another review in a year from now after I've used it quite a bit. But as of right now, it's doing things that none of my other lenses can do. It is a lot of fun to shoot with. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it. And it's going to open up avenues of photography that you didn't have available to you before. So yeah, I highly recommend this lens. No, it's not an L series lens. It's not that kind of quality. But for what you're probably going to want to use it for, it's going to be just a whole lot of fun, and it's going to open doors that weren't open to you before. So yep, go ahead and get this lens. Hey, thanks for coming with me. I'll see you guys next time on Bruce Tracy Photography.